morning everyone and welcome. It's been a long time. Mark from Port Campbell Visitor Information Centre here, and we're at Island Arch. Island Arch collapsed in the middle here in 2005, forming two stacks. We're at Loch Gorge on Victoria's Great Ocean Road. And I'd like to pay my respects to the Girray Wurrung people of Eastern Maa Nation and acknowledge their deep and ongoing connection to this incredible part of country. Been lucky enough also to spend a little bit of time up around Camperdown recently, and spent some time on Jagud Wurrung country. And one thing that really strikes me is we often talk about here that 18,000 years ago the coastline was 78 kilometres south at this point. There are also active volcanics between sort of 18 and 20,000 years ago just north around Camperdown. Eruption points like Mount Lura, Mar craters like Lake Purrumbete, Lake Notuk, Lake Bullen-Merri, all a part of active volcanics in that area. And we're going to have a bit of a walk around today. Let us know where you're watching from. And we're going to take a little bit of a walk out to the Razorback, another incredible formation. It was a line ball call where to go live from this morning, but it's been a while since we've been at Loch Gorge, and I thought it'd be wonderful to take you around. So let us know where you're watching from. I'll see your comments pop up, and I'm here with one other lucky photographer sharing the platform. You're getting some good shots? Yeah. It's a beautiful light here this morning, and getting to a top of 25 degrees here today. And as I mentioned, we're at Island Arch Lookout at Loch. Mark from Port Campbell Visitor Information Centre here. And hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're watching. We're out to the Razorback now. And want you guys to drive the conversation. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about, be it vegetation, which I already talk about some of the incredible well-adapted species of plants, and the fauna and also the other flora around them that they support. Let's take a little bit of a walk. Beautiful morning here, and there's some friends of our page that I know that are we down here in the next few days. So Krista, if you're watching, Vensel, wonderful conditions here this morning, bit of a shadow wave to you all, and beautiful autumn morning in Port Campbell National Park. So we're walking out now from Island Arch Lookout. Just the beauty and the detail. I'm still on the pathway here, but it's always something a little bit showy, attracting pollinators, attracting life into the national park, and this thick carpet of vegetation. Critical habitat for endangered species like southern brown bandicoot that are quite regularly seen in this area. It's a bit of a last stronghold for them, but for those of you from Melbourne will realise that from a healthy population of southern brown bandicoot around the Mornington Peninsula in the 1990s, it's a virtual complete loss of that species can happen really quickly when habitat's fragmented. So these last bastions or last strongholds of species like southern brown bandicoot, rufous bristlebird we are quite commonly seen amongst here, and the wonderful crew from Parks Victoria with wildlife cameras in place in the park now. There've been long-nosed potoroos sighted for the first time in a long time, so we're really excited about that. Obviously suspected they've been in the area for some time, but just having that physical evidence of the cameras is so important. And, you know, species like long-nosed potoroo, we love our big, fluffy, wonderful marsupials, but shame to see a little bit of litter there. Often disappointed in the behaviours of people in the midst of all this beautiful wonder. But the long-nosed potoroos are so critical, and they get the attention, and all the species that support them that people don't know about and understand, the small herbaceous species linking in there that are critical to their survival. So important as well. But, you know, I'm so pleased to know that there's we don't know the health of the population, but certainly long-nosed potoroos in this area, and credit to the wonderful crew from Parks Victoria. They're helping to preserve this incredible seascape and delicate ecosystem for future generations. People get the impression, because these plants like cushion bush here, just leaning over, keeping myself safe behind the barrier, keeping the park safe. People get an impression that it's a hardy kind of environment. These species are incredibly well adapted, but it's a really fragile ecosystem as well. A delicate balance that is critical. We're having a look at the razorback here. I'm not seeing any comments coming up. I don't know if that's in my settings. But please let us know where you're watching from, and certainly what you'd like to talk about. I can waffle on about anything, but we want this to be interactive and talk about the things that you might want to hear about. Nothing between us and Antarctica in this direction, and actually closer at this point to Darwin. No, it's closer to this point to Antarctica than we are to Darwin. Certainly flipped that round the wrong way. And just the stories in these age horizons. Tell a deeper story of our geological time. So at this point at the Razorback, we're looking at probably 8 million years down to 10 million years at the base. You've got the wow, look at that light. You've got the softer grey Port Campbell limestone down near the bottom, and the harder, more brittle yellow Port Campbell limestone at the top. And it's that alignment of age horizons with the soft at the bottom and the harder and more brittle at the top that's resulted in this absolutely spectacular coastline that's being constantly undercut by the softer layers at sea level, ensuring that the cliffs are vertical and these amazing formations inspire and delight us. Mark from Port Campbell Visitor Information Centre. This is the first time we've actually kind of telegraphed a live cross that we're doing, and I'm not seeing any comments coming up. So if there's anyone watching that doesn't mind just saying hello or letting us know where you're watching from, because it's feeling like a little bit of a monologue at the moment, and I'm more than happy to talk on about a variety of things, but it's wonderful when we it gets a little bit conversational. the Razorback. You know, so many people come into the area and they've heard of Loch Gorge, they've heard of the 12 Apostles, they might have heard of London Bridge, but it's the incredible little viewing platforms and walkways to this one, like the Razorback, that are just incredible. Now, we're here at a time of day that I wouldn't normally come to photograph the Razorback, because it's in a little bit of shadow. Like certainly shooting back on an angle this way, you get some nice light. But if you come in afternoon light, completely washed with colour, like a giant drive-in screen. There's so many variables to the beauty in Port Campbell National Park. You've obviously got the changing colours and variety of textures in the foreground that we see here. You've got the reflected light on the limestone. You've got ocean colour influenced by cloud cover above and the colour in the clouds as well. So many variables. You know, imagine Uluru, we all go there to see the light on the rocks. And here we get the light on the rocks. And you come here at a time of day like this and there's absolutely no one around. So hottest tip is to stay close and make the most of both ends of the day. Golden hour light in the afternoon and this beautiful morning light to capture your photos and get a real sense of the wonder. Looking beyond the Razorback, we're looking at some limestone stacks. When you consider that the original naming of sow and piglets started talking about the 12 Apostles in the 1890s, but that was at a time when people were catching train down to Timboon. The stories of the wreck of the Loch were bringing a lot of interest, and train and coach travel into the area, horse-drawn coach travel. And at that time when it was named, people were coming along Old Coach Road, which ran along the cliff tops. So when it was started being shifted from the sow and piglets and was reported in newspaper articles as the pinnacles of 12 Apostles, but the naming of the 12 Apostles occurred at a time when people were viewing the area as a moving feast. So we know that there's 7 rock stacks that are viewable looking west towards this direction. These ones here can't be seen. One back inside these 2 little bays can't be seen. So I don't think there were ever 12. I know there were never 12 in our clear photographic record looking west from the current viewing platform. So the naming of the 12, perhaps including some of these things. We know that somewhere between the 1900s and the 1930s that the 12 Apostles was kind of the adopted name, and certainly favoured by the local tourism association at that time, but no clear documentation as to when and who named it and when it turned from local vernacular into official naming. So there you go. Are these part of the 12? Quite possibly. Mark from Port Campbell Visitor Information Centre. We're just going to take a little bit of a walk back to Island Arch. Still no comments coming up, and maybe it's in my settings. I'll go back and I may not have allowed comments, so I'm sorry about this little bit of a one-way conversation. I can see that there's some people watching. I just hope that I'm catering it for what you want as we look out at this other great little viewing point. Put yourself in this picture. A seat to read a book, a seat to jot down some goals, a seat to breathe deep and reflect, looking out over what is part of Island Arch. Now, talking about naming, It sort of became popularised when Island Arch collapsed. Did the name change? People started referring to it as Tom and Eva as a reference to the survival of the wreck of the Loch, 1st of June 1878. Just like to zoom in a little bit because we're looking right through a widening little arch at Muttonbird Island. So many incredible lookouts here. Muttonbird Island, not this headland lookout, not this headland, the next headland over. So great views of Muttonbird Island from the wreck of the Loch lookout, and also from Muttonbird Island lookout. Mark from Port Campbell Visitor Information Centre here. I'm missing the comments. We haven't done a scheduled live cross for a long time, and I think I may not have ticked the allow comments section, so apologies if this is a bit of a one-way conversation. You can call me Monologue Mark for the day. We're taking you through some of this wonderful coastal heath that adorns the Port Campbell National Park cliff tops. And such an amazing part of the viewing experience, the scent, to a certain extent even the sounds, like the wind whistling through the casuarinas or the she oaks, whispering through the sedges and grasses. The scent of salt is strong in the air, but with a little bit of a northerly getting up, I'm getting a really strong scent of the vegetation as well. Bit of a heady mix. We're going to have one more little look at Island Arch Lookout, and I might just trot there to get ahead of a few people so I don't get in the way of their photos. Getting my steps up for you all, and we'll have a look at Island Arch, where we started, we returned to, and beautiful viewing platform. No need, so important you stay on track. Certainly mentioned how delicate this clifftop habitat is and how important it is for critical species. So staying on track. I'm just going to pass my phone through here, and love to get a bit of foreground in my shot. So click, click, click if you're viewing here. And little trick, I'm going to rise up, change hands, and great for a video. Little bit of a hand swap there, and magnificent. I'm here with two other lucky visitors looking out over the Southern Ocean, and one of many viewing platforms at Loch Gorge. We're being told around June, I think, for the opening of the new Blowhole lookout, which will also coincide with the reopening of the whole Broken Head Sherbrooke River Loop. So once again, Loch Gorge will be one of my favourite trail running spots, with about 7 kilometres of trails by the time you've looped around, and we hope beyond hope. The steps down to the beach reopen, but currently remain closed. No access to Loch Gorge Beach. Mark from Port Campbell Visitor Information Centre. Been a little bit of a long live cross. I'll check my settings next time and make sure that I've got comments switched on. I hope you've been able to leave comments that I can see after I go live, and I'll respond to them. But have a wonderful day wherever you're watching from. Thanks for joining us here at Loch Gorge, Southwest Victoria, Port Campbell National Park, on the lands of the Girray Wurrung people of Eastern Maar Nation, as we look out over sea country. ponder the wonder that is. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Adios.